Their work is much more than just getting return on the investment from a piece of rough. It is putting their personal imprint on the gemstone and signing it. At the studio, we've been known to be the last resort when no one else in the industry can do it. Companies and individuals turn to us to be the ones to pull it off when no one else is willing or able. Those hard to execute designs between Stefan's and my combined 80 years of experience, we're able to pull it off with elegance and excellence. It is rare to be able to work alongside such a talented goldsmith like Stefan, where he is open to suggestion and is able to brainstorm how we are going to pull it off or do it differently than tradition. In other words, so many experienced craft people are fixed on how to do it a certain skill. With Stefan, we flow so well together and are constantly relying on one another's abilities to create unique one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces. With Stefan, I can make suggestions on various ways to achieve the same end, and he is completely humble and of an open mind within his knowledge and skill. We seem to blend so perfectly and fulfill each other's abilities and skills. Together, there has not been a piece where we have not been able to do or create with our combined artistry and mastery of goldsmithing. When it comes to jewelry designs and my gem cuts, we make the perfect team at the studio. Stefan Gunning's personal insight working with me. I was aware of the beauty of his gem carvings before I had ever started work with him by seeing his craftsmen at trade shows and through Susan Bickford, an independent jewelry appraiser. In 1998, I had just come back from Guatemala with some of the most stunning and rare jadeite jade that Ventana Mining had ever discovered, the lost jade of the Olmec culture. We needed the material to be worked by the best gem carver and designer, and everyone within Ventana Mining agreed that he was a perfect choice. It was then we had our first collaboration. We discussed the best ways to bring the vibrant colors out of the jadeite. His work on our material, without a doubt, showcased the quality which elevated the status of Guatemala jadeite to a world-class gem. A couple of years after Ventana Mining started working with him, my fiance became terminally ill with cancer. I stopped working in the area and relocated to take care of her for the last year of her life. During that time of hardship and loss, my relationship with the gem artist changed. Our collaboration now was incorporating all gems and creating jewelry. The cathartic nature working with him on dynamic new jewelry pieces is truly a healing process that opened up many avenues of growth in designs. It begins in many ways. Often it is started with someone's request for a distinctive new piece and is where we get to tap into the emotions of jewelry and discover areas that excite and stimulate the senses. Blending the different techniques of fabrication and casting and the incorporation of stone settings and beautifully carved gemstones. There will be sketches drawn and the ideas get bounced around on how best to achieve the concepts. It is in this back and forth of ideas and approaches that one finds healing and the designs coming into formation. We can then move to carving a wax to see how it looks in 3 dimensions or work up the prototype to see how the lines flow and fit together. Again, we revisit the design and discuss how it makes him and I feel and what we still need to do to produce it so it captures the emotions that we felt at the beginning. This is my favorite part, unraveling the unknown and watching it unfold into the masterpiece that leads him and I into an epiphany in the design. Collaboration is the center stone of solving problems and the basis of our relationship. We continue to move forward in this creative business, producing spectacular jewelry and open to the next challenge. The art of Mark Schneider. My personal insight into working with Mark Schneider. Mark Schneider is one of the most recognized jewelry designers alive today. He has won numerous Spectrum Awards for his designs, and his work is on display in some of America's finest museums, including the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. Mark was one of the very first designers that was willing to work with my Fantasia carvings back in the late 80s. I can still see him walking into my showroom in Tustin and very closely studying my work. He was exactly the perfect artist I had dreamt of that would be willing to create unique one-off jewelry pieces with my Fantasia carvings. He would seize the challenge and get really excited about working with my carvings. So many jewelry designers at the time kept telling me that my carvings were too complicated, too much of a completed design, that they felt that there was very little they could do with my carvings in their jewelry designs. Not so with Mark. Mark Schneider was one of the first to see exactly what I intended with my Fantasia carvings, in that they were half-done pieces of art waiting for the designer like him to come along and lift it up into unique one-off designs the industry had not seen before. Mark was very different in that he allowed me to create what I wanted in stone, and then he would come along and be inspired and create outside the traditional box of jewelry designs. Other designers like to get very much involved in the gem design, but Mark always allowed me to create what I dreamt. Then he would come along and envision something so original and unique. With my carvings, he is able to dream up that impressionistic style of a bird, a butterfly, and even a ballerina, exactly what I always dreamt could be done with my Fantasia stories. Mark was a perfect designer I intended for my work. As I have mentioned before, I always feel my carvings are only half done, purposely waiting for someone like Mark to come along and dream up ideas that are completely novel and unique. Our combined work together received so much acclaim. We have appeared on 4 major jewelry magazine covers with our combined work, won awards, and have exhibited at museums. We continue to create those unique dancing ballerinas and angels that have graced these magazine covers, each one unique and one of a kind in the completed form. Mark Schneider's personal insight with working with me. I have had many of his stones in my personal collection for over 15 years, and each time I look at them, I see something new to create, something that I haven't seen before. I see a stone that I have looked at dozens of times, and where I didn't see it before, this time I see a ballerina, a bird, or a rising of the phoenix. I love his work because it is very organic, which really follows my typical design style. He has this rare talent of bringing out the most beautiful and unique characteristics of each gemstone. I love using his stones for completion pieces because when I design a competition or project piece, not only is the design judged, but the stone is also judged within the piece. In these cases, I always start with the gemstone first, whether out of my own collection or working with a particular cutter. I find the most successful pieces begin by letting the stone talk to me and lead me in the direction of the design. My mind is inspired by gemstone cutters like him who take a more personal interest in the stones they sell. Their work is much more than just getting return on the investment from a piece of rough. It is putting their personal imprint on the gemstone and signing it. When I allow the gemstone cutter to cut the stone his own way, I am giving him the freedom to create the gemstone in the image that he feels best represents the stone. Just like I allow the gemstone to talk to me when I am creating my designs, the cutter must let the gemstone talk to him so he knows what shape it should take. I like the gemstone cutter to be as creative as he can without any influence from me, and then it's my job to take his stone and create a design that showcases his art as well as my design. It takes 3 elements to make a winning design: what nature creates, the rough, what the gemstone cutter can add to the stone, and the design, which is what I feel is the best presentation of the stone. Working with an artist like him adds a unique quality to the final piece of jewelry. It's my joy to bring out the qualities of his work as well as the natural beauty of the stone.